What's good, Jets? Today is July 29th. It's Tuesday, July 29th. It's Taco Tuesday. Anyways, oh fuck. Trade recap. 2 trades today. 2 break-evens. 0 losses. 0 wins. Which, whatever. The first trade, A+ setup. Second trade, A- setup. We'll get into it in a second. Alright, so market opens. I didn't log on today until about 9:45ish because I knew we had red folder at 10, so I wasn't going to trade before that, nor was it trading at 10, right? So that's what I was looking out for. Before I logged on today, I've noticed a few things. Well, NASDAQ, what do we have? We have a 1 hour bullish fair value gap right here. We have London lows right here. We have Asian lows right here, which is this blue line. And we also have an unfilled 4 hour right here as well. So that was basically the only things I marked on the hard time frame, right? Session lows. Both session lows, Asian and London. 4 hour unfilled, hourly unfilled, or not unfilled, but hourly for value gap that at that point in time we were respecting. And then we also had this discounted 15-minute fair value gap right here. So, shit. So what do we get? We have this discounted 15-minute fair value gap right here, but we're also inside of an hourly, and we have this 15-minute bullish right here. So what I wanted to see is I wanted to see this 15-minute get ran through. We come down, fill these areas, right? Fill all this void in the market right here, and then continue higher. And let's just end up seeing what we get with the next candle. So we run through it, right? What do? We come down, re-sweep out these lows. We tap into this 15-minute discounted for value gap. Remember, we're inside of an hourly for value gap as well. Along with that, what do we get? Well, we get a London low SMT. How do we know that? Well, because we come on over to ES. What are we? We swept past this London low. And along with ES, what did we do? We tapped into this 4 hour unfilled fair value gap. So now even though I was already bullish on the day, I'm now extremely bullish, right? So now we can start looking for quote unquote targets before we enter. So what do we have right here? We have this 5-minute fair value gap that barely got filled. And what is also in this general area? Well, we also have BPR. So this would have been a good draw on liquidity for me, right? If you guys are watching the beginner's blueprint, we have BPR. Or we should know what BPR is. Sorry, that's what I meant. So what do we have? Again, hourly fair value gap, bullish. 15-minute discount and bullish for value gap. We have a London low SMT, right? Right here with London lows. Let me just make this a checkered line so you guys don't get confused. And we have targets up top, right? We have this, watch, come down to the 1 minute. We have these relatively equal highs that are about to get made. And again, like I said, I didn't want to trade until after 10 a.m. news comes out. So where does 10 a.m. come out? Comes out with this blue candle. We don't really get much, but what do you get? We get an open low, which is perfect. We get an open low. And we also get a resweep of this 950 low right here, which is, if you take a look, the 950 low is all the way up here. So again, we have an internal SMT, right? Low right here. Did not sweep it out on ES, but we swept it out on ASCRAC. Yay, we swept it out on ASCRAC. Yay. All right. Let me just mark it out for you guys so you guys can see, right? So this purple rectangle is the 5-minute with these relatively equal highs right here. So that was my take profit area. And we also had BPR. So there was a reason for price to go higher. Also, we're inside of bullish for value gaps. We have a bullish SMT against us, or going with us. So what am I looking for now? Well, all I'm looking for is a inversion of this 1 minute for value gap to go higher. But what do we end up getting? Fuck, where is my... What time did this happen at? 9:50? I actually entered off at 30 second. I don't have 30 seconds on fucking what's it called? Here, let me do this. All right, so this was at 10:03, was that 1 minute opened up, right? We come right here. Here's the 1 minute. that was showing on TradingView. Okay, what did I enter off of? I entered off of this 30-second right here. Why? Well, because I was strongly convicted we were going to go higher, right? We have an internal SMT. All of these bullish PD arrays were, at that point in time, we were respecting. So what do we get? We get an inversion on the 1 minute. I enter. Let me bring back TradingView back up. Where the fuck did that shit go? All right, so go ahead and enter. And then what do we also get after the 30-second inversion? Well, we get also the 1 minute inversion. So even if I did wait for the 1 minute inversion, I still would have entered. All right. However, I just got a little bit better RR on this trade. Again, what are our take profits? These relatively equal highs right here inside of this bearish fair value gap. And then if you wanted to hold a runner into BPR, you could have, right? Because BPR is a strong form of like a draw on liquidity. So what ends up happening? What does this next candle do? Nothing. Nothing, right? We're still chopping around. My break-even point is right here. It was essentially a 30-second internal high. What do we get? We smack our break-even, right? And what was our break-even RR? Try to tend to aim for a 1-to-1 RR on the break-evens. This was a 0.86, right? So good enough. It's not going to be perfect every time. What ends up happening? Boom, we rip up. All right, cool. At this point, I'm like, all right, maybe we do want to take, like, go to this general area, right? Because, again, strong draw on liquidity. We have relatively equal highs. We learned about that. BPR in this area. All right, what do we end up getting? Well, we end up reversing back down. Again, at this point, I'm already at break even, so my stops are right here. Again, still not stopped out yet. And with this candle, I get stopped out at break even. So that was my first trade, okay? Moving on to the second trade, I wasn't going to take a second trade. However, in my own eyes, I thought maybe we just wanted to come down and take out London lows first, okay? So that's what ends up happening. We take out London lows and we get an immediate V-shaped recovery out of it. We still have the 15-minute fair value gap that we're respecting. We still have the hourly fair value gap we're respecting. The only thing we don't have anymore is the London SMT, but we also have an internal SMT. Where? Well, with these 950 lows that were created. These 950 lows still weren't taken out on ES. So, again, we still have an SMT in our general direction. So what do I want to see from here? I want to see the highest time frame leg of this move down to get inverse. There was no 2 minute. There was no 3 minute, and obviously there's not going to be a 4 or 5 minute because here, just so you guys can fucking see. All right, no 4 minute, no 5 minute. Okay, so what was our highest time frame inversion coming out of the V shape? It was going to be this 1 minute. So all I'm waiting for is this 1 minute to get inversed. It got inversed right here, which was literally a perfect close. All right, perfect close. However, I looked away for 2 seconds, and the next candle literally ripped up. So I was like, fuck, maybe I missed my entry. So what? Oh my God, my dryer. I have this heavy ass blanket in the dryer and just do. Anyways, I set a limit order at this fair value gap right here, this 1 minute fair value gap that was inside this inversion. Again, if you guys watch my beginner's blueprint, what do we know about inversions? Price likes to come back down and revisit those areas. So what do we get? We get a retap, throw me in the trade right here. Break even point is this 1 minute, like intermediate high, I guess you can say, internal high, whatever. Chop around, we're chopping around, not really good price action. Boom, we get an extendo leg past my break even, stops right at break even at this point. What do we get? I thought price was going to respect this 1 minute for value gap. Well, we did not, and I ended up getting thrown out the trade right here with this candle. All right, so that was all for me today. I guess my bias, you can say, or my draw on liquidity just was not it. I went over, or technically I went 0 for 0 because they were both break evens, but my first trade didn't end up paying out, and the only other way I would have entered again is if we had an SMT and maybe we took out London lows, and that's exactly what we did. If you guys want to come look at ES, I don't know if we had an SMT with ES in this general area. No, we still haven't taken out Asian lows, so there wasn't an Asian SMT either, but I had a good bias because why? On ES, we had this 4-hour bullish. We had a London SMT for the first trade. So there was draws to go higher. Now, the reason why we possibly didn't go higher was because we had all-time high SMTs, right? Here's all-time highs for AskCrack, right? Here is a 2 a.m. candle on Monday to that. And then let's go to the 2 a.m. candle on Monday for ES. Again, this high right here. down here, right? All-time high SMT. So maybe that is what was holding us from going higher, and apparently we wanted to respect that SMT. So if you guys took shorts today, good job. There was draws both ways. Here is the shorts you guys could have took essentially at market open, but like I said, I didn't want to trade until news came out. Sorry. So if you were shorting at market open, your draw on liquidity would be this unfilled 15-minute fair value gap. Your break-even point would be this internal low right here. So what would you want to wait on? Well, you would want to wait on for this 5-minute to get inverted. And what it do? It got inverted at 9:45 along with this 15-minute getting inverted at 9:45. So it was perfect. It was absolutely perfect. All right. Take shorts down to the unfilled 15-minute discounted gap. Could have entered off the inversion. Looks something like this. Right. Stops at the top of this wick right here, which isn't the best take profit spot, but for this trade, that's where you should have put it. Or above the fair value gap for a better R, because that was actually terrible R. So 1 and 2, you would have smacked it literally within like one candle. Let's take a look. Enter off the inversion. And literally one candle, yeah, you were in this trade for 1 minute. If you entered off the inversion of the 15-minute and the 5-minute, and you were targeting this unfilled 15-minute bullish gap, you would have been in the trade for 1 minute. So that is a short play you could have took. Other than that, that will be all for today. Thank you guys for watching. If you guys haven't, leave a subscription and a like on this video. Oh my god, do I sound like every other YouTuber? But no, on all seriousness, go check out the Discord. I post daily bias in there every morning around 9:20ish. I didn't today, however, because I woke up late. That's my fault. I apologize. But I do live trade in there every morning. Again, didn't do it today because I woke up late. But for the rest of the week, I will be doing so. So you guys enjoy the rest of your day, and I will catch y'all boys tomorrow in the morning. The new beginner's blueprint drops in about 23 minutes from now, so go check that out.